I was once told that one of the places you'd love to live and love to die would be in Costa Rica. And of course, it's pura vida, just life, it's all good. As we head to one of the rich coffee regions in the world, as it's Heredia in Costa Rica. One, as you see the mountains with the humidity and the clouds and everything that is good and life-fulfilling as far as the enjoyment of nature here at the Eladio Rosabal Cordero, as it's Walter Ferretti and Club Franciscan. You see right there, late dusk here in Costa Rica, as Walter Ferretti looking to revert the situation that they have to face. Bit of humidity, that there will be a little bit of wind. That could be a factor. It usually is in Heredia, one of the coffee regions in Costa Rica. As, of course, this is the home of Club Sport Herediano. Speaking of which, the team of Floresta, well, they'll be in El Salvador trying to punch their ticket into the next round, as we're going to find out exactly what happens here. Well, you see that, of course, Club Deportivo Universitario already has advanced, as has FAS. They're awaiting their opponents from this side of the bracket. Motagua already advancing as well. We'll find out now who will be the opponent for the winner of Tauro and Real España over at the very top right hand of this bracket, as the road to the final begins to get a little bit more interesting for all sides involved. So things will be just cracking as this match faces two teams with contrasting styles, as was mentioned by Coach Dominique Jean prior to this match, talking about how his team looks very poised, looks as sharp and as embattled mentally as you could be, as they had to take a very long trek. How long? Well, you would be shocked, and I'll tell you a little bit later about that, as far as the trip that Club Franciscan had to take in order to get to Costa Rica. But mentally, they look good. Mentally, they are sound. But more importantly, physically, those two boxes are also checked for the reigning Martinique League champs. So for them, a very interesting road, as they ended up winning the Caribbean title, as you see right there. Many of the delegates, of course, you see right there, Christian Williams also helping out a little bit with the proceedings. Always the cooperative one of the representatives there of the Costa Rican FA, as he shows up at pretty much every single event in Costa Rica. Walter Ferretti, a team that felt a little bit of heartbreak towards the end of that match against Club Franciscan, as they weren't able to really conjure up any offensive impetus or any clarity in front of the goal defended by Olivier Rosas Arsene. And it will be interesting to see what Henry Urbina has in store, what adjustments he has made, because for Walter Ferretti especially, a lot of their season, a great portion of their season, hinging on this match and how well they do for the rest of this semester, as they await the beginning of the Nicaraguan League, which will start in just a couple of weeks' time. So to start looking at it from that perspective gives you a bit more insight of them playing a match home, away from home, in neighboring Costa Rica. So for these two sides, you see that there is a need, that there is a necessity to go through for Club Franciscan as well. They're looking to make history, and it could be a very interesting Scotiabank CONCACAF League, because you might start looking at teams like Portmore United as the ones that end up representing the Caribbean in the next round, something we did not see back in 2018, as you hear the Nicaraguan fans that have made the trek or that live in Costa Rica coming to support their beloved Walter Ferretti.
Vamos Ferretti, dale, dale.
And you hear both sides, both in Spanish as well as French, looking to kind of give that last-minute jolt of inspiration. As for Henry Urbina, Espinosa in goal, Lopez, Delmeida, Huete, and Gutierrez in the back. Bonilla, Montiel, and Samuel Wilson in the middle. Danilo Zúñiga and Cristian Flores out wide, with Ervin Aguirre being the point man. Although you might start seeing a little bit of shifting, Samuel Wilson will probably join up and link up in the middle, allowing Manuel Gutierrez to stay out wide and give a little bit more presence, as the veteran Nicaraguan international needs to have some type of presence inside the area for this Walter Ferretti side in order for them to be successful in any way, shape, or form. So, see right there, both goalkeepers, Olivier José Arsène, as well as Denis Espinosa, as the officials right there. O'Shane Anthony Nation from Jamaica, an all-Jamaican crew, Richard Washington, Jesset Kerr, and Kevin Morrison. Jesset Kerr, of course, will be getting a lot of action as second assistant. Glad to see her in the work she's been able to put in throughout her stellar career. One of the young up-and-coming referees in CONCACAF. Rosa Arsène, Zaire, Lepel, Timon, and Etinov in the back. Christophe Jougon and Andrew Gentouil, with Jorik Estefion and Stéphane Abol out wide on the left. Very integral part of the attack for Dominique Jean out wide with a ball. He's the one that's able to create and be able to offer a lot of opportunities for the two-man Mange, and the goal scorer, Johnny Marajo, up top for Club Franciscain. Of course, only 16 players traveling for Club Walter Ferretti. As they traveled, it took them a little bit of time to get there, but it took about 24 hours, I kid you not, as far as the travel that Club Franciscain had to do, had to endure in order to get from Martinique to Costa Rica. We began as, of course, Club Franciscain starting out in their road whites. It'll be interesting to see how play begins to develop. As you see Stéphane Abol out wide, he's looking to start things out quickly, putting it into the area and cleared away rather quickly by Jesse Lopez. Understand that this Franciscain side wants to really put the pressure on Walter Ferretti. Started talking to Stéphane Abol. It was a great interview that he gave, as you see right there, the veteran coach for Walter Ferretti, Henry Urbina. Has been able to do some interesting things throughout his career. Franciscain, driving opportunities. It goes just wide. Abol was talking about in the interview that I was just mentioning that this team has really learned a lot after seeing the French national team win the World Cup, and some of the principles they're looking to implement in this match are some that they learned, being very tight in defensive blocks, being able to transition quick, and finding that they do have a very interesting matchup when it comes to speed out wide. And they want to be able to reel Walter Ferretti out of the back as much as possible and try and put the ball over their head. So start looking at that little feature as far as their style of play is concerned, how compact they are, but how quick they are coming out of transitions when they do recover. Here's Samuel Wilson. Bonilla. Michael Montiel. He's starting a little bit further back. Lopez trying to stay out wide. Well, Franciscain, when you see him in the midfield, not really giving a lot of space for the players up top that are trying to make themselves available, especially Samuel Wilson. And here comes the first ball into transition. Here's a good opportunity coming up for Franciscain. A ball.
Sin falta, no haga falta. Sin falta.
Jougon. Jougon gets past two. Wilson able to steer that ball wide. Wilson. Again, pay attention to how Franciscain closes the angles. If they can do that, they will give all sorts of trouble to Walter Ferretti throughout this match. Christian Flores goes out to touch. All alone in the middle, you saw right there, Joan Bonilla, but the ball gets away. Dominique Jean right there. Of course, one of his assistants on the bench is the one that barks out the instructions. Here, Dominique Zaire again. He's one of the assistants. Here's Christian Flores. A very weak shot in the end. So it was covered rather nicely. Not much of a threat there, but Walter Ferretti making their presence felt. The Jougon. Zaire. Wette recovering the ball. Goes over to Bonilla. It's bumped off the ball, but no play. Come on, let's go. Keep going. That's what the referee says. A lot of room in the middle. That is something that's to worry Coach Henry Urbina, as there's a lot of space if they can take advantage of it. Not that way, though. That could mean really bad news for Walter Ferretti. Interesting there by O'Shane Nation, the referee today. Also keep in mind the surface here at the Eladio Rosabal Cordero. Turf that was replaced a couple of seasons ago. Part of some of the renovations that have gone on in a couple of stadiums in Costa Rica. Saprissa a couple of years ago when they ripped out the carpet, put on grass once again. Alajuelense did the same, and now a good opportunity here as the challenge coming in, the step forward. That's what the referee calls, and it's going to be a big chance here coming up already 6 minutes in. You see right there, coming through was Nicolas Zaire. About almost 25. Samuel Wilson trying to adjust a little bit more. Is quickly done, good. And it was smart there what Samuel Wilson was looking to do. He said, nope, O'Shea Nation not giving the indication. That's what Samuel Wilson was saying. So he could do the appropriate thing, but of course, now he gives the indication saying, on my whistle. That's what he should have done in the first place. Didn't do that, and that allowed Samuel Wilson to do what he did. He'll get a second try here. He'll try and take it from outside. Just a bit outside of his range, so don't be surprised if he tries to dink this over a little bit. We've seen him do this from a closer range, of course, with the Nicaraguan national team. Wilson loses the ball, but commits a foul in the process. Wilson at one point of his career was essentially Nicaragua's number 9. He was the major threat as far as offensive impetus or offensive intentions were concerned for Nicaragua for a couple of Gold Cup cycles, as he now recovers the ball and plays more of a midfield role. That's Montiel.
René.
De Almeida, the Brazilian. Recently was nationalized. Now he no longer takes up a foreigner spot. But still, the team right now that's looking to put the ball into the opposing team's area and trying to pressure him defensively so far has been Walter Ferretti for obvious reasons. Zúñiga. Samuel Wilson. Back to Zúñiga. Lopez. Montiel, who's pretty much dropped back with Bonilla and Wilson. Zúñiga coming into the middle, essentially a 4-4-2 at this point. His plays recycled, De Almeida dropping back to recover. Montiel now looking wide. Another ball coming through, and it's just flicked away enough that it can prevent the attack from going. I thought it was the other direction. Looks like initially it looked like the defender there, which was Jordan Timon. Flicked that ball wide, but let's see here. Just miss it. And again, you see how this Franciscan side, defensively, the lines are very straight. The block is very tight. They're looking to just drop back and see what this Walter Ferretti side is going to do. So far, the best options that have been opening up in the first few minutes have been down the wing. Speaking of Jamaican referees, wanted to send a quick shout out to a good, see right there, literally jabbing at each other physically. Want to send a quick shout out to a broadcast partner, Mr. Peter Prendergast. All is well with him. See what Walter Ferretti are able to do out wide, and the players that they've been able to find have been down that sector, whether it's Christian Flores, or if you start looking at Johan Bonilla, or excuse me, you start looking at Irvin Aguirre out wide. Those have been the major options right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that starts developing and what adjustments Franciscan makes, or maybe no adjustments. They'll just give them that area as much as they can, because that first ball goes to them and not much really occurs after that. Wilson trying to stab that ball through, and Franciscan recovering quickly. Trying to send it deep. Almeida backpedaling with great effectiveness right there. Montiel, left side being exposed significantly by Walter Ferretti. Here's a good opportunity. This is again another ball coming through, right to the hands of Olivier Rosa Arsene. Bonilla. Lopez. De Almeida. Samuel Wilson. That pivot reference in the middle. A little bit higher up in the pitch compared to Montiel. There you go. That's the bailout right there. That's the one that really recycles play, Montiel. De Almeida looking for that deep ball, trying to complicate things, and does so down the wing. Here's a good opportunity with Jesse Lopez, crossing it in, the ball behind everyone, not being able to collect it. Johan Bonilla. Significant what you start to see in these first 13 minutes, that Walter Ferretti finding the wings but not being able to kind of replicate or continue or evolve play with that cross into the middle. Either it's not precise or there's no one that's being connected with. That's one of the things that needs to be corrected through time, but you still have to continue doing that, finding those spaces out wide to really start creating some important opportunities. Phase one, at least if you want to look at it from that perspective, going through. Phase two, still trying to figure that part out. Abol. De Almeida. A great deal of sagacity, this Brazilian central defender. Understanding that the pressure's not quite intense, so you do have that extra bit of time to make the best decision possible with the ball. Wilson. Looked like offside initially. Right there, Ervin Aguirre starting to find the spaces in the middle himself. While Franciscan not being able to find a lot of precision, not really possessing the ball a great deal. It's not about possession, it's what they do with the possession in the brief amount of time they have it. And so far, we haven't seen much in that department either. Abol comes from behind, has the ball taken up from behind by Danilo Zuniga, starts to counter in the opposite direction. There's a foul being called there, and a yellow card will be given. First of the match coming in the 15th minute of play. 15th minute of play. Right there. Juan Bonilla goes into the referee's book. First yellow card of the match. Denis Espinosa gets called to action for the first time. Already a yellow card being given. But overall, after 16 minutes of play, it's very patient Walter Ferretti, looking for spaces, looking for chances, as Bonilla again being called. This time, of course, the foul being whistled on Jordan Simon. It's interesting, as the O'Shea Nation, remember, Jordan Simon does not speak English, and, well, O'Shea Nation doesn't speak French, so O'Shea Nation speaking in Spanish, saying tranquilo, tranquilo. Not sure if he understood, but I guess he got the message. Nobody in the area, but finally rolls right to a man. Is that 50-50 ball, not recovered by anyone, a ball losing it in the process. As he's been the one that they've looked for, but he hasn't been able to find anyone when he has the ball at his feet. Gutierrez. And again, it's Bonilla getting called, and you hear the complaints from Henry Urbina, saying, referee, where's the yellow card for the opposition? Ball flicked away, and it'll still be Walter Ferretti's ball as we get to the 17th, now 18th minute of play. Walter Ferretti just need one, and things start to change a little bit more. Converges, and again, this is where Franciscan can cause some damage. Here's a ball, I don't know what he's doing from outside, but still effective in being able to put that ball at least on target. Denis Espinosa with no problem at all. Way too rushed. It's Wilson. Almeida back to Wilson, recovering the ball. Zaire. Looking to play with a ball. But nothing coming through as it goes right over into the path of René Huete. Now it's Lopez. Zuniga. Trying to find the 2-on-1s, and that ball somehow, some way gets deflected off of the player who tried to play it. Now it's starting to get a little bit dangerous here as it's Jamel Mange. A ball. Trying to stop right there, looked up. Mange was picked there, or at least he collided with a defender. As soon as a ball looks up, he's like, oh wait, nobody's there, so he tries to take it. Of course, that ends up being the corner kick, first of the match for them.
Time, referee. Dag.
Franciano Etinov. That would be potential corner kick here. Watch out with Jugon. Watch out with a ball. Go near post. Defended rather well. Serve it through for a ball. Bonilla. Wilson. Zuniga. Dropping back, trying to find the little pockets of space in between the defense and the midfield. That's exactly what Ervin Aguirre is looking to do. The pressure on Walter Ferretti was applied to them ever since they were able to get to Martinique. The Nicaraguan press were talking about how this team, albeit them not being the most popular or the most known entity as far as football in the Caribbean, they had seen what happened, but still in the Nicaraguan press, they talked about how this was a match that they had to win. Unlike Didier Hen, who were really looked at as having a very difficult task. Just outside the 6. Just clearing it out, trying to send it all the way to a ball who's a lone man against 3 defenders. It's him against the world. A ball still fighting, still recovering, still trying to play it off a teammate, but the teammate wasn't able to get to it. So much so has been the pressure on this handball right there. The ball just watching from afar in disbelief. Franciano Etinov being called for the infraction. So much so was the pressure on this Walter Ferretti team that after they lost the away leg, one of the headlines, actually one of the leads in one of the main dailies in Nicaragua that were covering this match, we're talking about Walter Ferretti, the founder of the club, rolling in his grave after seeing his team play the way they did in Martinique. So that shows you how much this match or this tie itself means to not just Walter Ferretti fans, but to Nicaraguan football in general. Zaire pushes through a lot of space that Walter Ferretti is giving. A lot of space to dribble, a lot of space to move around as the ball intended for a ball. Cleared out nicely there by René Wete. Now Bonilla dashing through, gets fouled from behind. Check that, that's number 50, Christian Flores, who's dropped back significantly, allowing Bonilla to play out wide on the left. He switched sides already with Samuel Wilson. Wilson's now playing more out wide towards the middle to be that central metronome in the middle of the pitch. Is another foul being called, this time on Franciano Etinov. Associated Nation saying, all right, calm down. It's already the second, going on the 3rd time, so might as well start to look at the possibility of a yellow card if the antics continue. Wete, as well as De Almeida, the ball off the crossbar. A very poor clearance. But that's all that can happen is, again, Walter Ferretti threatening in the 24th minute of play, looking to start something now with Franciscan, but a mistake now leading it to the opposite side. Here's De Almeida, who was caught dropping back. But Franciscan covering and securing the ball rather quickly. Looking to go into space, but it's covered. A bull fighting, preventing the turn in for Lopez. Not exactly sure what was going there. Again, Jenael Mange. You see the clearance here. Just a teardrop of a chance there. Denied by the crossbar, and it's just one of them days right now where Walter Ferretti was just inches away from equalizing this time. Flores. All the play coming from the wings really has been a huge amount of trouble for Club Franciscan. These last, well, actually, since the beginning of the match. Let's just keep it simple. Mange trying to step away, but it goes to Abol. Trying to partner up again with Mange. Abol, he was making a run, but really no one there as it was a 2-on-5. Rather static, really it wasn't on the counter to really create any type of danger there. Mange. Mange again coming through, but he gets bodied away, and it'll be a throw-in coming up for Walter Ferretti. That ball you see right there, it did go out of bounds. 26th minute of play, now 27. Errant clearance, trying to look for a ball. De Almeida pushing and bodying their way through his ball, as well as Jugon. And Jugon, the one that gets the foul called. Samuel Wilson. Johnny Marajo is another one that we haven't mentioned too much. He's been out wide on the wing, but of course the attacks for Franciscan, as they've settled down a little bit more. So you look for a ball. De Almeida being able to clear that ball out. The attacks for Franciscan have come from the left-hand side as well, but also from the middle of the pitch, that as soon as they lose the ball, or as soon as they recover, in the case of Franciscan, they're able to recover the ball. You do have a Michael Montiel that's at times out of position, so you have a lot of space to roam. That really hasn't brought in a player like Marajo into the picture as much. Again out wide, it's Marajo losing a lot of marks, and that's been one of the reasons why you see the Nicaraguan champs so free down that far side. Marajo ends up wanting to be in a more attacking position. There's a 2-on-1, and as soon as he takes on one defender, there's one attacker, there's another attacker out wide, as it's Mensch giving a run. Samuel Wilson dropping back.
Sale a la línea de la bola, sale.
Festion taking a lot of time to come out. Here's a good chance from outside, and a good defensive effort there by René Huete. Standing tall, but now it's Walter Ferretti that have been losing the ball quickly. And you hear the exasperation in the voice of Henry Urbina. It's a foul being committed on Johique Festion. Play right there. Again, that shows you how important possession is for this Franciscan side. It's again coming through, coming down the middle. Jugon. Marajo trying to go on the attack. Not able to get to that ball. It's interesting on that set piece, one of the things that Urbina was saying, don't go inside the area, don't give him a chance to head the ball. So the line went up a little bit higher and prevented the ball from really being served in there. And of course, that was something that was not taken into account by Franciscan. Bonilla. Gutierrez. Over to Aguirre, man down, and the referee says play on. It's been rather consistent. And again, this is many will start saying, hey, this is a foul, that's a foul, this is not a foul. You start to look at it from the context of the referee. Of course, that was a foul, but there's certain levels of physicality depending on what league you play in, or what league in this case you ref in, that you allow certain challenges to stand and which ones you don't. Kind of happens the same when you start looking at international competitions in South America, in Europe, and even in Asia as well. Pretty much in every single confederation you have that, just different styles of play. O'Shea Nation right there, a little bit too permissive with the infractions. De Almeida happened to fall in front of the ball, not allowing a ball to get through, and it'll be Walter Ferretti's ball as we get into the final 15 minutes of this first half. It's a yellow card being given. Not sure exactly why, but a ball right there just bowling through. Not exactly sure what the foul was or what the yellow card was given for. Most likely dissent. 31, a ball goes into the referee's book. So second yellow card of the match. Jesse Lopez looking for the cross. Continuing to get it through, and referee not taking it. This play continues. Jougon winning that ball as Bonilla hits the ground. Jougon drops it back. A ball offside, can't put it in, and as soon as he tries passing it through, threading that ball past De Almeida, it was still offside as well.
Uno con la bola. Uno con la bola.
Watch out with the infraction here, as a ball was in the vicinity, but it was Jougon. The ball's getting a talking to right now as the captain say, hey, don't do it again. Don't have me send you off because of this. Nah, he should have been sent off. So, Stefano Bol pretty much playing on borrowed time. So he goes into the referee's book, and then he pushes off with an opposing player. A ball. Montiel out wide to Gutierrez. De Almeida. Espinosa saying, come on guys, let's get out, let's push up. Mistake here, recovered quickly as it was Cristian Flores. Zuniga. Flores moving over to the right side. He started originally on the left side and really haven't seen many attacks down that far side. A lot of the attacks, or the few attacks that we've seen towards this second half of the first 34, 35 minutes of this match have now started from the left-hand side. It starts to show you how influential Cristian Flores has become throughout this encounter. Trying to look deep. Johnny Marajo trying to take off, but already a couple of gears too quick, and there you go with Walter Ferretti just returning the favor. Wete again sending it out. So we get into the final 10 minutes of this first half, plus whatever stoppage time will be offered. It'll be interesting to see in the second half what Franciscan have in the tank. It's a handball called on a ball. Natural position there, a term that I learned from Mr. Peter Prendergast. Deep ball looking for Aguirre, but he was offside already. And remember, right there he's already offside. Since he hadn't touched the ball, can't be called. it all over again. Again, very elementary mistake there. Zaire. So far in this first half, Espinosa's been another fan just watching from the stands, maybe except for one opportunity that really was covered without a lot of complications. Now here's a good chance brewing. Zuniga trying to push through as it's Aguirre. Zuniga with the give and go. Here's a good chance from outside. That final touch not working out at all for Walter Ferretti. As Olivier Rossard-Sen with a great deal of ease when it comes to the shots he's had to face. De Almeida just trying to protect the ball as a ball coming through, playing it out of the back well. Here's De Almeida again. Mensch and a ball trying to go through, but those two have been the only ones. As a yellow card, we'll see what a color card will be given. De Almeida down on the ground. It's that step down motion that's called. Jean-Noël Mensch. It's the third of 3 matches that have been played here at the Eladio Rosabal Cordero. This match was trying to go through a ball. Ooh, puts the synthetic leather on that ball, but way too high. And again, this is what Franciscan were looking to do, trying to have that player filter behind the defense, find the space and have the best angle possible in order to take a shot on target. That's been their best attempt so far in this match. Again, a lot of balls being lost in the middle. And Michael Montiel with not very many options left. Now, here's my question. Why isn't a yellow card being shown on this one? Because it wasn't even close.
Ahí nomás, Corrocha, Corrocha.
Chance from outside, not really too threatening. Very little imagination when it comes to really trying to deceive or create or even keep possession. They could just drop the ball back and kept the ball in their hands instead of they just send it on target, which is essentially a back pass to Denis Espinosa. And again, another mistake. Like the 5th or 6th time that a Walter Ferretti midfielder has lost the ball the way that Samuel Wilson just did. Now Wilson recovering. Bonilla.
Attention, attention. Bien joué Fio, encore, bien joué Johnny. Stop, stop, tentez, 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 tentez.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time here.
Bello, bello.
See what adjustments are made in the last 45.
Jenny, avec vélo. Jenny, avec vélo. Il faut un deuxième. Il faut un deuxième. Regarde-moi, regarde-moi. Hé, les gars, regardez, 3. Regardez, 3. Droite.
Big chance here as we're 3.5 minutes before halftime, plus whatever stoppage time is also included. Also keep that in mind. There'll be at least 1 or 2 as a ball dropping back, saying, no, let me come back. Let me defend a little bit more. Ball's gonna be swung to the first post. Punched away nicely there by Rosa Arsene. And now here's a transition. 2-on-4, but a lot of space to be able to carve up. Get another chance. Timon. Jougon. Zaire. Trying to split that ball as the ball was waiting for it. Good anticipation. Espinosa with a quick service out wide. Intelligently placed out there for Johan Bonilla.
Sors les mains. Il est coincé. Il est coincé. Vélo, oui.
Corner kick coming up here. Series of bounces. They're really creating some complications here for Franciscain. But up to now, not really much of a threat in front of the goal by Olivier Rosa Arsene. Martinique champs with the height advantage. They defend rather well. They defend in blocks, and of course, when the ball's not sent properly, that helps your cause out a great deal. Samuel Wilson was like, throw it this way, and he said, no. Somebody should have told Jesse Lopez there's no offside on the throw-in. Because he looks and it was Samuel Wilson all alone, and here's another transition opportunity. Zabol going to recover. That pass not too precise. Montiel. Rushing forward is Manuel Gutierrez, trying to at least get on level terms before the end of the first half. Here's Zaire. There goes Zaire.
Allez, allez. Yo, solide mon grand derrière, hein. Sautez, à vous sort. Sort.
Montiel, who's been essentially a third central defender, if you will. There's not been a great deal of danger so far in this first half by either side, although keep in mind, despite the disorganization offensively for Franciscain, they've been able to recover the ball in very dangerous sectors of the pitch, and that can lead to very complicated situations. So 1 minute of stoppage time added. Zaire, again, just wanting to give the ball away. Giving chances to Walter Ferretti. Just chopping down the tree from the lowest part possible. See right there, 1 minute of stoppage time being mentioned there, or being shown as only 1 minute. What's been a rather fast-moving first half. Of course, that was Kevin Morrison, the fourth referee.
Gauche.
2-3, now a fourth joins in as Franciscain push out, another ball that's lost, and here's a good opportunity. Oh, offside, no, he's offside, can't go, and now here's a good ball going through. Here's the chance for Franciscain, if they can control it. A ball is not being able to, as his first touch betrays him. And again, you see how dangerous this Franciscain side is when Walter Ferretti pushes forward. This will be the last opportunity if they're able to get it off on time. And they'll be happy to go to the dressing room with a love-all score line. Of course, the aggregate favoring them, and that will be the case. They had a chance to be able to go, and you hear it there. Henry Urbina, not too happy. Dominique Jean, happy and a bit stoic at the same time as he's seen his team fend off all potential opportunities. But overall, the scoreline says it all. Neither one has been able to harm the other. 0-0 at halftime.
Damas y caballeros, ha finalizado el primer tiempo con un marcador. Walter Ferretti 0, Club Franciscan 0. Para las últimas noticias, estadísticas del partido y lo más destacada de la Liga de CONCACAF Scotiabank. Asegúrense de visitar nuestra página de internet concacaf.com. Sigue toda la acción de la Liga de CONCACAF a través de la cuenta oficial de CONCACAF en Twitter, @CONCACAF, y también en nuestra página de Facebook, @CONCACAF. Scotiabank está orgulloso de trabajar en conjunto con CONCACAF para apoyar el desarrollo del fútbol en toda la región y ayudar a los jóvenes a descubrir su potencial infinito. Para obtener más información sobre el compromiso de Scotiabank con el fútbol juvenil, síguenos en Facebook y Twitter en Scotiabank Fútbol Club. Apoyando el fútbol, votando por el mejor jugador del partido, vota en Twitter vía
Statistics can tell you a certain story, but at times it doesn't tell you the entire story. 62% possession for Club Walter Ferretti, but when they had the ball at their feet, it was Club Franciscan that had the potential to be more threatening. Shots on goal, well, it seems even if you look at it. Actually, shots total, I should say. Same thing with shots on target. But those shots from Franciscan were from all the way in downtown San Jose and really didn't affect in any way, shape, or form the positioning of Dennis Espinosa as you see the sporting complex here at the Eladio Rosabal Cordero as we are tied at 0-0. Necessity finding all types of resistances, fate and destiny on the other end end up being the difference makers so far. And one of the phrases of the day has to be the ability of Franciscan to really hold off, to really look at this situation. And from a defensive standpoint, the best quote you could possibly have for Franciscan was given by a rival of Heredianos in Keylor Navas. He's like saying one time, I want to live here as much as I want to die. In other words, I want to fight for every single ball that comes my way. I want to be that one that knows that my destiny's in my hands, but I have to go out and get it. That's what they're trying to say. And I guess that's the best way to synthesize the lines, the compact nature of Franciscan, all of the offensive limitations that they have shown throughout this match. Walter Ferretti on the other side comes so close there off of the head of an opposing defender, Nicolas Zaire, who's been nightmarish to say the least. Clearing the ball out, defending, giving space. He's been with a great deal of trouble throughout, but overall, you still see a Franciscan side that is willing to battle and knowing that destiny is just 45 minutes away. For Walter Ferretti, they know they have to work a lot more.
Wow. Oui, oui.
Et puis Fabio, let's go. You're the last one.
Yes.
Second half just moments away from beginning, 45 minutes away. At least if you're Club Franciscain, to end up in the next round, a historic next round for Club Franciscain. If they're able to maintain this result, either get a victory or if it ends up being a draw with any scoreline after that. A team that defensively have been able to stand challenge after challenge from Walter Ferretti, but at the same time, offensively, they have been lacking the dynamic and wherewithal to really become even more threatening than they could have been, or than they actually were, in front of the goal defended by Denis Espinosa. So we're underway for the second half. There's Walter Ferretti now going and being ambitious, but that ambition really hasn't translated into clarity. Will that change in the second 45 minutes? Will they start going back to what was most successful for them in the first 45 minutes, which is trying to look for the wide players, trying to exploit as Marajo right there losing and missing out the ball, but it lands right in front of him as it goes over to Sébastien Lepel. Gosassen, Lepel, Zahir, Timon, Etinouf, Gentouil, Jougon, Efestion in a ball, Mange, Marajo for Dominique Jean. For Walter Ferretti, looking over for Aguirre. Here's a good chance. Cristian Flores has the ball bounce off of a defender. One again, and another wave coming this time with Manuel Gutierrez. Here's Flores and another defender. Is one thing that Franciscain have done well is Denis Espinosa coming out of his area.
Ça vient maintenant, ça vient. Sortez, Andrew, sors. Ça vient.
Jougon,
Oui, allez.
Marajo.
Va.
As the man that scored the goal that's putting Franciscan into the next round, trying to get more involved. Zaire watching, but a cross from Lepel. Just flailing the ball into the area. Espinosa. Now what the Nicaraguan champs are doing, they're winning every single second ball. Zuniga. Wilson trying to anticipate, and now again going down the left-hand side is Menge. A ball in the middle. Menge couldn't keep his footing. There's some bad news awaiting, and now a good opportunity down the right-hand side. This time for Walter Ferretti. Zuniga. It's Christian Flores circling top of the 18. Samuel Wilson hits it with the outside of his foot and misses just wide. Franciscan trying to play the ball out of the back. That's one of the principles that Dominique Jean was talking about. Gentile. Lepel. Back to Gentile. Festion. Menge out wide. Zetinoff. Dropping back is Jougon. The foul being called as a ball. See right there, as a ball is. I'm not sure what O'Shea Nation was looking at. There's no way that he's talking about elbowing him, but actually he had his arms wrapped, and again another ball that's lost in the middle. This time again, Zuniga losing it. Asking for the offside, not going to be, as a Festion crossing it. Again, Walter Ferretti have to be very patient. As at times, it seems that they get a little too ahead of themselves, especially when they have that ball in the final third. Here's Jougon, surrounded. No one tells him at all. Christian Flores backtracking behind him. Loses the ball with a great deal of ease, and that's been one of the biggest problems for this Franciscan side, to really create any type of offensive consistency. A team that really has shown little to no offensive capability, but defensively they've been able to do it. And the little bit of offense that they've been able to show is because those deep balls that are going into space. And a yellow card going back pocket. O'Shea Nation keeping his yellow card on his side pocket. Usually referees do it the other way, but still, that's okay. Usually when you see a player, or at least a referee, go into the side pocket or the back pocket, that usually means a red card. That's the third yellow card of the match, second for Franciscan. Flores, again, losing the ball in the middle of the pitch. That's been the biggest cardinal sin for Walter Ferretti in this match. Jugon complaining. René Wete with the infraction. Got a bit of a Charlie horse on his calf.
Llega, llega, llega.
Marajo. So now we go from body slams and physical contact in the first half not being called to touches, knocks, bumps being called by referee O'Shea Nation.
Vivo, vivo, vivo.
Sebastien Lepel looking to serve that ball into the area.
Arriba.
Get the ball coming through and
Michael. Michael.
the header just wide. Franciano Tinov comes so close to putting in the goal that really could have nailed down this coffin for once and for all if you're a Walter Ferretti fan. The other side, the Nicaraguans looking to bounce back, looking to take advantage of the opportunity that was wasted on the other end. Bonilla. Zúñiga. That's not a foul, okay. Jesse Lopez battling and not getting it, but it'll still be a throw-in after all is said and done.
Milo, Johnny, par ici. Johnny, serre dans l'axe. Milo, dans ton dos. Hey, hey.
Vanessa ici, les gars.
Sors, sors. Milo, come here. Allez.
Market coming up here as we reach the 54th minute of play. Does Walter Ferretti have what it takes to be able to get the goal that will equalize things? Not necessarily be able to give them victory in this tie. Ball coming through and foul being called. De Almeida collided there with Jose Arsen. Right there. Just bodies flying all over the place. It's bound to happen as a goalkeeper. And again, you see right here, amazingly, that ball does not go in as the header by Franciano Tinov. Deep ball again. Looked like he was offside, Mensch. Being accompanied here by Jugon. Dropping back. Abol has the ball. Oh, could have been taken away, but goes right through. Here's the good chance. Ball. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, it hurt me in my soul to see that ball wasted the way it was. Oh. Unbelievable. It was just missed by Franciscain. Unbelievable. Giving a new lease on life for Walter Ferretti. Another opportunity wasted here by Franciscain. As you're going to see from behind the net, ball comes through. And everything you could possibly do wrong when taking a shot on goal, kids, that's exactly what you don't do. Every possible thing he did wrong, that's exactly it. Please learn from that. Gutierrez. As Michael Montiel dropping back even more so. As De Almeida, you see him number 4. He comes up, so when he pushes up, Montiel drops back to protect. Although Walter Ferretti leaving themselves very exposed in the back at times. Franciscain finding moments where they can really go and attack. Here's Aguirre.
Attends, Nico. Attends, Nico.
Flores.
Bien joué.
Again losing the ball between him and Zúñiga.
Ça vient d'où?
It's unbelievable the amount of balls that those two have lost in this match. Trying to go down the line but not being able to connect or leave it in target is a ball.
Nico, parlez ici. Sion, à gauche, à gauche. Sion, à gauche. Bouge à toi. Bien joué, Blanc. Stop.
Tiel in the middle of the board. If that ball's won, here's a good chance to set it inside. Oh, the ball not square enough, right into the hands of Denis Espinosa, and another chance that's wasted by Franciscain. It's amazing the amount of chances that Walter Ferretti gives this Franciscain side. Trying to be offensively inclined, but very defensively generous. Samuel Wilson. Zúñiga, one of the two players that's really been struggling with the ball at his feet. Again, give and go. The chance, the shot from outside. Danilo Zúñiga with the give and go. Finally finds a partnership that can really be fructiferous. And misses just wide of what could have been the equalizer in this tie. Now you're starting to find some answers to certain questions that have been raised. Now, the bigger question, if you're Walter Ferretti, is can you continue with the pressure? Another foul, and it'll be on Ponciano Tinoff. Where's the yellow card? I don't know. He was caught totally leaning in the opposite direction, the veteran defender. Now the big question is, if you're a Franciscain supporter, how much gas is left in that tank? And I will explain myself when it comes to that. After this set piece, if you will, Samuel Wilson. Aguirre there, at least giving him a reference point. It's fine. He can be there. It doesn't matter. As O'Shea Nation say, no, you got to get an offside position. Going through, the ball punched away but cleared. Finally, Michael Montiel. No foul being called there. Another corner kick coming up. It was Chougon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a penalty. Very poor refereeing from O'Shea Nation. Ball cleared away, and it'll be a corner kick, this time on the opposite side. Nation has been more involved in trying to converse with the players than actually trying to impart justice on a consistent manner. Ball cleared up by Franciscain. Samuel Wilson. Flores. As he gets brought down. And the choppy nature of this second half favoring Franciscain. You don't see a Walter Ferretti side that can really create a rhythm, but when they do, they can be very dangerous and potentially dangerous like they are right now. Again, that ball gets taken away. Looking to go forward, just send it deep, try and outrun, see if they can do it. But Mensch gets called for the infraction. Now, keep in mind that this
Yo, ça part gauche. Tout passe, Yo. Bien joué.
Franciscan side
Jenny, à toi. File droite.
will start to feel the rigors a little bit, although you start to hear what Dominique Jean was saying while he was being interviewed in Panama, saying, yeah, my team is physically strong. Mind you,
Nico, à toi.
this team left on Sunday midday from Martinique. They flew to Guadeloupe. From Guadeloupe, they had a layover of about 4 or 5 hours to fly to the Dominican Republic, which they had another layover, and they flew from Dominican Republic to Panama, and after that, of course, they stayed over a significant amount of time in Panama and finally flew into Costa Rica just yesterday. So over 24 hours it took this Franciscan side to come through, to come to this final destination here at the Eladio Rosabal Cordero. Of course, the shortest trip they had to take was from the Juan Santa Maria Airport in San Jose to this stadium, which is about, with no traffic, about 25 minutes. With traffic, it would probably take 2.5 hours. Of course, they rested, and we'll see how much of that rest was applicable as the ball coming through. No pace on that ball, and it's Rafael de Almeida being able to recover it, and finally Michael Montiel switching sides and having a lot of room to roam is Manuel Gutierrez. Montiel anticipated nicely by a ball, tripping over himself. Marajo now playing in the area. A ball drops back to be able to hold and possess a little bit more. See exactly what occurs in these last few minutes. 26 to be more exact. Some room for Zuniga. Trying to connect, and Walter Ferretti recovering but not being able to sustain possession. Wilson. If you want to look at Franciscan from a standpoint of overall matches, this team has not lost a match since April the 13th. A squad that has been rather dominant. Again, another ball being lost, and that'll be a foul, as it was Jesse Lopez being called for the infraction. That'll be the 4th yellow card of the match. That's given at 65.
Dos pegados y uno abierto, Danilo abierto. ¿Me quedo o me voy? No, salí. Vení, Johan, vos primero. Johan.
So a chance from outside. Let's see if it'll be
No, Danilo va suelto, quédate ahí donde te digo. Vos y Johan. Ahí donde te dice el árbitro. A la izquierda, a la izquierda.
Denis
Más a la derecha, ahí.
giving indications.
Danilo abierto. Ahí. Cafú, deja ver. Sale!
Espinosa yelling and screaming as the ball comes and crashes against the wall.
Arriba.
Franciscan again. The ball saying, what did I do? The extended arm is the first substitution of the match, coming at 66 minutes. And there'll be Samuel Wilson coming off. Coming on will be Jeffrey Chavez. So the veteran Nicaraguan international, and that has been amongst one of the most prolific scorers. Here's a chance, speaking of prolific, off again the crossbar. Another chance denied by the woodwork. And Walter Ferretti, unbelievably, still behind 1-0, or 1-0 in the aggregate. 0-all in this result so far. Had Rosar Sen completely beat, Cristian Flores cannot believe it. And trying to play out of the back every single time. Surprisingly, Walter Ferretti do not pressure them. Be interesting to see if they are able to do that, or if they do, what would happen. Espinosa. René Huete. Gutierrez. Huete. Flores getting all tangled up again. But still able to clear the ball out over to Jesse Lopez. Starting to get a little bit dramatic here for Walter Ferretti. Etinov. Chugon. The spaces are there in Franciscan. At times, very speedy, very pacey. At other times, borderline rudimentary. But still they're able to exploit those spaces or find the spaces that have been at their disposal. Mensch, they've been able to find those spaces. If they've been able to be more clinical in certain stages, I would guarantee you that this match would not be 0-all right now. Mensch.
Vai, está solo.
Again, their continuity, their capability of trying to evolve play really has been showing some limitations, especially when trying to decipher. They don't send a lot of numbers up. They become very stationary in the area, and more importantly, you see a team that really, outside of a ball, not being able to create any further generation of play. Speaking of which, a ball right there. It's not only, that's one thing also to stand out with a ball. It's not just what he's been able to do with the ball at his feet. It's the amount of pressure that he's been able to implement on the defense, forcing mistakes like this one that gives the ball right back, as it's Sebastien Lepel.
Solo.
Michael Montiel.
Sale.
Etinov. Remember, the winner of this match will play the winner of Tauro Real España. Zaire brings it down rather efficiently. Efestion offside. Jesse Lopez got very lucky there. Deflected off of Mensch. Now comes the time where Walter Ferretti really has to start sending men up. Jeffrey Chavez came in a few minutes ago. But again, losing the ball so easily. It is sometimes alarmingly preoccupying how this team loses balls in their own sector of the pitch. Play on. And the ball coming through. Rosar Sen saying, I had it. The ball was coming through. All you had to do was shield it. Instead, That miscommunication gives a corner kick for Walter Ferretti. Can they capitalize? Here is a big, big situation coming up for the home team. De Almeida coming in, the two big boys in the middle. Wete also doing the same. Cleared out as Zaire missed on the header. Trying to serve it in again. Aguirre right into the hands of Rosa Arsene. Deep ball, looked like he was offside, Mensch. At least from that initial take here, you probably have other reservations to say that, as it was Manuel Gutierrez that kind of made the argument that he kept him on side, but still. Wete. Very complicated. Michael Montiel. Foul being called in favor of the Nicaraguans. 73-11 is the handball being called there on. I wonder why there was no yellow card given. Another discussion for another time. Gutierrez. Wete. And again, Aguirre not being able to control, not being the best matchup. And here comes 2-on-1 in the middle, a ball behind him. Walter Ferretti again, forgiven. Nicolas Flores losing the ball again, and Walter Ferretti can't hold on, but then again, neither can Francisquen. Zúñiga. And the second substitution is going to be Jesse Lopez coming off. Coming on will be Jason Castellón. So bring in some fresh legs to really try and keep up with the pace that this Francisquen side can have when the ball's dumped into space. Ball dumped into the middle. Bonilla. The recently entered Castellón. The ball goes right through, and Aguirre couldn't get onto it, neither could Manuel Gutierrez. So you have Castellón going forward, Montiel pushing up a little bit more. You also have Jeffrey Chavez opening up a little bit wider on the far side. That's originally where Samuel Wilson was going to be coming from, but instead he was placed more in the middle to hold and possess a little bit more and move the ball around. So it would be very important to see where this Francisquen side is able to adjust if you have more speed down the wings. Another cross. Rosa Arsene all day long. 76-24 and counting. As Jugon gets tied up. And to have this Martinique side be able to come through and play in space, that's a recipe for disaster. And giving them the space to be able to attack into, that's really the biggest issue that you can start to have if you're Walter Ferretti. Get another chance. Montiel still down.
Pélo, Johnny, droite. Yo, bouge gauche. Pesez ça, pesez. C'est à droite. À nous.
Aguirre.
Là, tout de suite, Pélo, premier.
Good job of manufacturing a corner kick there.
Bien Pélo, mon grand, bien.
Manuel Gutierrez
Ça joue à deux.
going short and the defense not reacting quickly enough. Ball into the area, cleared away as it goes off of Etienne. Here's again Zúñiga. Ooh, and that was a dangerous situation. Now that's a goal right there, that's the equalizer. What a gaffe, what a horrific gaffe by Rosa Arsene to give the equalizer. Many were looking at that and they froze. Walter Ferretti take the lead. And if you want to look at it from this perspective again, look at this. Right there. Ball goes right to the goalkeeper. And just like that, the recently entered Jeffrey Chavez giving the lead at 79. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Finally, Loris Karius could probably sleep well at night after seeing that. But still, we got a long ways to go. Ball served through. Here's the header. You hear him in Portuguese, De Almeida. Unbelievable gaffe that creates the lone goal of this match. We are tied at 1 now in the aggregate, and Walter Ferretti looking for more. And if you look at the entire body of work that has been produced throughout this encounter, it would have to be Walter Ferretti that, if you want to talk about deserving, it is them. Now the pressure on Franciscain. Jugon. Quickly Ocean Nation trying to break that up. Ball taken away and Zúñiga goes down. We'll go to penalty kicks if this continues into the next 10 minutes plus. Babyface Chavez Shane Nation showing his skills, but again, the ball somehow, some way ends up not bouncing in the way of Franciscain. Deep ball. As both teams looking, both teams swinging, and the way things are going, and another foul as Jordan Timon getting called for the infraction. Remember, various players for both sides faced off this past, talk about 2017, in the Gold Cup. Both Martinique and Nicaragua happen to be in the same group. 4 players from Franciscain, 7 players from, at least then, were with Walter Ferretti, ended up facing off in that tournament. There was talk about Henry Duarte looking into this match, seeing what he could see. Of course, Henry Duarte, the coach of the Nicaraguan national team, looking to find reinforcements. It's quite humorous to speak to Henry Duarte prior to the World Cup. He was over the moon when there were rumors about Nicaragua playing Argentina at La Bombonera before Argentina would fly out to Barcelona, where they set up their training camp pre-World Cup. Of course, it didn't work out, as it's Chavez now. Nice defensive stand. We're into the final few minutes of this match, most likely going into penalty kicks, barring any, and another foul. Finish off the Henry Duarte story. He just was happy as could be, but they was so disappointed when it didn't work out. It was Haiti that ended up playing Argentina in that match. Of course, now it's pending where Nicaragua and when Nicaragua will play their Nations League match. When Nations League play begins, the next FIFA international dates. Franciscain still going forward. It's been the long ball that's been very effective for them. Abol went from playing at it as a number 9 to playing out wide as a number 8. Now he's playing alongside Etinoff in the middle of the pitch. Not much really being able to harm Denis Espinosa. Lepel. You hear, it's funny, you just hear Henry Urbina on a consistent basis talking about, are you falling asleep, son? What are you doing? What's going on? He's constantly talking to his players as the first substitution. As Marajo comes off, he's been anonymous. Kendrick Ago coming on for Franciscain.
Entrando al partido número 21, Kendrick Agot. Saliendo del partido número 20, Stefan Abou.
Very limited offensively. Just instead of trying to keep possession or try and build up, sending a cross into the area and giving it right back to Walter Ferretti. Deep ball. Final 3 minutes. Here's a good chance. Ago, who recently came in, sending a ball through. It'll be a corner kick coming up for Franciscain. Is Dominique Jean now wondering what he's going to do.
La corta, Cristian.
Etinov looking to launch that ball in, looking for hope, looking to connect, looking to make something happen here. In the final 3 minutes plus. Etinov with the in-swinger. De Almeida standing tall in the near post. Walter Ferretti dropping back inexplicably instead of trying to push out, giving a lot of room. Mensch into the area. Ball comes through. De Almeida clearing it out. The chance to shot that ends up being sent right back to the airport.
Damas y caballeros, la asistencia de este partido de Liga de CONCACAF de Scotiabank es de 127 personas.
Final 2 minutes here at the Eladio Rosabal Cordero.
Pero.
As a goal by Jeffrey Chavez in the 79th minute, the difference in this encounter. This goal, of course, equalizing issues, and now we'll go into penalty kicks, barring any last-minute heroics on either side. But a lot to blame here on Franciscain, as they have had several opportunities to put this match away. They weren't able to capitalize. Walter Ferretti's side that really leaves much to be desired. Again, another ball coming through. De Almeida being the hero. Montiel launching it deep. Neither team, though, satisfied with the victory, and here's a good chance. Zuniga, good job by Zaire as he pushes forward. Heel pass, but Etinov not aware he's able to get to it as nobody was there. Chougon watching as his teammate has the ball taken away. Bonilla. Final 30 seconds before we go into stoppage time. So we'll go into penalty kicks. At least that's what it looks like. That's what it's going to look like. Who will be the 5 or more, maybe, that end up having that unenviable task of taking a shot from 12 steps. Efestion. Shoots from outside that goes rather close. 3 minutes. What a tendency to see with this Franciscan side, that as soon as they go forward, you do not see one player lift their head up. When they're dribbling, they're always looking to ground. They don't see that there's an open man. And as soon as they do see him, that window closes very quickly. And that's another thing that's really limited them as far as being able to find the open man, or at least develop play from their side of the pitch. Is again another foul. Coming from behind, and that's fine. There's Huete. Comes from behind. He doesn't have a yellow card. He should have had one after that challenge. And Huete will go into the referee's book. exactly sure what. Just say, give me a minute to write it down, I guess.
Hey, la banda, la banda, la banda.
A ball.
Cubrila, 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 cubrila.
It's a ball. A ball is the one that took the free kick, and then a ball is the one that's trying to get the ball back. Hard working, but again, these two teams have really gone after each other. Get another ball coming through. Sending it in, not even looking. As it was Kendrick Ago. Flores. So it will most likely be, unless something happens here last minute, the goal by Jeffrey Chavez, the difference in this encounter. But it's that horrific gaffe by Olivier Rosa Arsène, the difference, and we're going to the penalty spot eventually.
Y caballeros, el marcador final del partido de hoy de la Liga de CONCACAF, el Scotiabank de este partido, Walter.
We'll go and try and find out things. See how things play out, I should say. As the penalty coming up. Penalties coming up, and we'll start to see which of these two teams has the medal to continue going forward in this Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League. So after all is said and done, the penalties will be underway here at the Estadio Eladio Rosabal Cordero, as Walter Ferretti were able to get the goal back that they direly needed. Goal by Jeffrey Chavez in the 79th minute, the difference in the return leg. But again, a lot of it has to be given to a huge, gigantic, enormous, ginormous, unbelievable, inconceivable error by Olivier Rosa-Arsène, the goalkeeper for Club Franciscain, as he miscollected the ball, and you hear the clamors, the praise, and looking to see what otherworldly type of inspiration they could have for the easiest, but yet the most difficult of challenges, which is taking a shot from 12 steps. Dominique Jean, the rather silent, low-key coach for Franciscain, that has touted his young warriors, that has given them the inspiration to go forth. On the other end, Henry Urbina, who has a combination of wily veterans, young and upcoming players, and journeymen that were able to find a way to victory, to find their 6th league title and get to a position in which they are now looking to be the Nicaraguan side that advances to the next round. Will they do it? They have quite an imposing figure in front of them, but they do have a wily veteran on their side. Remember, penalties, some call it a lottery, some call it luck. But there's also a huge mental aspect to it as well, as Danilo Zuniga will be the first one, or at least it looks like it. O'Shea Nation giving indications as to what they should do, what they can't do, and of course everything in between. So it looks like it'll be Danilo Zuniga, the first penalty kick taker. Ferretti and Zuniga. Zuniga, will he go right? And he does. Perfectly taken. Waited for that last half second for the lean. Not sure why Rosa-Arsène was going in that direction. Espinosa now. As it'll be Jorrique Festion. Midfielder here. A lot of nerves, a lot of anxiety. A lot of space to take a shot, but too much thinking here. Will he go to his right? So 1 up for Walter Ferretti. Trying to wrap it around, but tough break there for Jorrique Festion. Now it'll be time for Ervin Aguirre. Had a couple of chances, was a bit of the sacrificial lamb when it came to collective work. Pretty long run. Slams it down the left-hand side. Very well taken, very decisive. Two love for Walter Ferretti. Now it'll be the chance for Franciscain to get on the board. As El Pulpo, that's his nickname, the octopus. Christophe Jougon now. The look of preoccupation couldn't be larger. Two love in favor of Walter Ferretti. Telegraphed it, and not very well placed. Recipe for disaster if you're a penalty kick taker. And now it's Espinosa, the wily, crafty goalkeeper. This goal would make it pretty much match point for Walter Ferretti. And he does. Now, it all depends on this just to keep it alive, so it's match point. Just to use a tennis term, if you will. One kick away. If they miss, it's all over. And it'll be Fonciano Etinov. Just the body language is another thing. You start to see the previous two takers, the indecision, the pressure. Will Espinosa once again come up all aces? Etinov to keep it alive. Does so. And Espinosa just laughs. Etinov just blasted it right down the middle. Of course, his former Boca Juniors coach, Carlos Bianchi, said, when in doubt, aim for the goalkeeper's head. And now here it is, Michael Montiel to win it all for Walter Ferretti. No pressure, son. Short run. And Walter Ferretti survive against a brave Franciscain. But it's the veteran poise that prevails here at the Estadio Rosabal Cordero. Walter Ferretti with a goal in the 79th minute by Jeffrey Chavez are able to get the victory. And in penalty kicks, it's Walter Ferretti 4, Club Franciscain 1. Walter Ferretti, the Nicaraguans, are able to survive, much amid the heartbreak, as it was Franciscain that had it all in their hands, and it squirted away, especially from the hands of Olivier Rosa Arsene. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. See you soon. Peace.